Hey Praise TV lovers, I'm always excited to randomly pop up on your screens. This time it's not exactly a random pop-up, it's actually a very deliberate pop-up. And I'm here because we have a new show and I'm excited about that show. I'm sure you've seen the ads about it and all of that good stuff, and it's starting this June, but we thought it would be amazing to interview the person that's going to be bringing you that show. And so I'm excited to pull you into that space with us. The Standpoint is coming to Praise TV starting this June, and we're all excited about it. And of course, our very amazing Oheneyere Gifty is here with us. And so we're going to be talking to her to enter into her space a little bit, so you can get to know her. Those of you that don't, if you don't know The Standpoint, you've been living under a rock. So you need to come out of that rock. It's been airing for 10 good years, and she's been in the scene for a really long time. So we want to get to know her a bit more, and we also want to tell her a bit about us, you know, and all of that stuff, so we can all come in together to be one big family as she comes on to Praise TV. So if you're ready, let's enter into her world. Welcome to Praise TV.
Thank you.
I'm Ga, so the Gas will say won't have to
You mean Daniel.
So first off, we want to officially welcome you to this family. It's God's family. That's what we call it. And to have a woman like you who has walked her walk with God come on to our platform is such an honor. So yes, we're looking forward to it.
It is a great honor for me too, because interestingly, for how many years now I've been watching Praise TV. I use it for my worship. I use it for my quiet time. And this is my very first time, appearing on Praise TV. And God knows I've been on so many, TV stations, but it's such an honor and a great privilege. I truly believe that, God is doing something.
God is definitely doing something. I'm excited that you said you use it for your worship and all of that. Yes. What's your favorite thing about Praise TV then?
Oh, I just love the worship bit when you play back some events that have been held, and then of course some random sermons. Yeah. As for the sermons, TD Jakes, I listen to Joel Osteen.
Awesome.
And
now you get to be on there as well. So that's amazing. Okay, so do I start off by addressing you as Oheneyere Gifty Nana Awood?
A whole sentence,
or do I stick to Oheneyere Gifty?
Oheneyere Gifty, Auntie is fine. Oheneyere is fine. Gifty is fine.
Okay, Oheneyere didn't take Ohenene Edin Nechi.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's not necessary?
That is why my husband insisted that I take the Oheneyere.
Okay.
Because if you follow me, you know that I tell the story of my father and the sacrifices he made for me. And so I actually had a conversation with him that I really want to keep my father's name. Not because of anything, but just as a form of honor to him, because of the sacrifices he's made for me. And he agreed and said, okay, then you're going to carry the title Oheneyere. So that when people hear, they'll say, why is he called? And then his name will appear in there.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Wow, you have an amazing husband. Dear future husband, ... Okay, so let's get into your world a bit. If we had to, your story is so intense, from how you grew up to the things that you've had to go through to journalism and then to Jesus. So we're going to kind of walk through that a little bit, and then we'll end up at Jesus and Praise TV.
Amen.
Yes. Okay, so if I had to ask who Oheneyere Gifty Auntie is, of all of the definitions, because different people that are watching right now would say different things. Some of them know you from different platforms, GTV, and different spaces that you've been in, maybe journalism, and then others would know you from Standpoint. Maybe someone would know you from a testimony that they've seen you share, because you've also been doing that. And so if we had to ask you personally, today we've got the chance. The last time I sat here, she was interviewing me, and it was awesome. So I'm humbled to get to do it.
It's great.
But if I now get the chance to ask you personally, who is Oheneyere Gifty Auntie?
Jeremy, to sum it up, I'll say Gifty Auntie is a daughter of God who has super crazy faith in God. I started a movement, the super crazy faith in God. And sometimes people think It's a cliche.
Yeah.
But no, when you know my story, when you know my journey, where I started, the winding ways, the ups and downs, and where God has brought me.
Yeah.
And even where he's taking me that I do not have any idea, because I keep asking questions. It's his faith, holding on to him, that has brought me this far.
I see that phrase a lot.
Yeah.
That you use it often. It's your status most of the time. Super crazy faith. And
Tell me, I'm the last of 8 children, not from an affluent background, a very humble, background. There's no money at home. I went to what you call Saito. I've been through it. Going to school, being sacked for school fees, but then, like the story of Joseph, the least has now been brought out.
yes. The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone.
To be the icon, to be the shining star. I mean, one of the things I'm so grateful to God about is that before my father died, he looked at me in the face and said, Nana, thank you. Because of you, the world knows my name. That is why I hold on to that name. Auntie.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Your relationship with your father is interesting, because I've heard you speak about different aspects of it, and the fact that, and that's why you honor him on so many levels. Say he sacrificed a lot for you. Could you tell us a bit of you and him and what that was like?
Just amazing relationship. I mean, my father was the type, we just sleep on the same bed. We talked about everything. He directed me in life. My first, menses, he was the person I told.
Wow.
I mean, when
that's
I was
a good dad.
Yeah, when I was in secondary school, boys write to me and I send it to him. And he would just tell me to ignore it. I write to him, he'll correct it and send it back to me to rewrite it and send it to you. That kind of relation. I was always with him.
Wow.
I've always been a daddy's girl, and he talked to me. He explained to me why I cannot have this. Why 7 years throughout Infantsman Girls I never could own a watch, a wristwatch. Why I had to go to school with an empty chop box, but my school fees will be paid. Why I need to learn for him. Why I need to, even be in his dying days, why I need to be able to stand on my own. This when I was in school doing my master's in London when he passed away. I saw him in 2005, April, Easter. I told him that I was going back, he should wait for me because he wasn't too well. He had gone blind. And he said, okay. But then, I'm thinking in July, I had a call that he had gone into coma. And things were not too good. So one of the nurses from General Hospital, sent me a text and said, Gifty, you have to let your father go. I said, why? He said, no, I have a feeling your father is holding on because of you.
Oh my God.
We had a house help at the time. So I called him and said, when you go to the hospital to see Dad, let me speak to him. Just put the phone. So I said to him, Dad, it's okay. I'm okay. Where I am, I can take good care of myself.
So you released him?
I said, Dad, I let you let go.
Wow.
Just let go.
Wow.
So on 4th of August, when my sister called, my big sister Tina, she's an amazing woman. She's been like a mother to all of us. When she called me, I just knew. The day before, I'd had a dream that my dad was lying, I was approaching him, and then he turned his face. So I just knew. I just knew, but it still doesn't make it easy.
Wow. You're a strong woman to release somebody that you were that close to and not be in his space or in his presence. You see, when a person is watching, and I'm glad that we get to do this interview, because when a person is watching you from a distance, for those of you that watch Standpoint and all of that, you look at her like, wow, superwoman. She does all of these things. She's on TV. She's married to a king, and she's a queen mother, and but it's these stories that make you you. That's what has given you the wind beneath your wings, to fly as far as you have. And that's powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
That's so deep. Do you miss him?
I do. Every day. Every day. There isn't anything that I go through or I see sometimes something nice happened to me, something exciting, and I wish
you could
he
tell
were there.
him.
Yeah, I could tell him.
Well, that's powerful.
I wish I could tell him. I mean, so just if Dad were here, I mean,
I'm
if
sure
Dad
he's
was,
proud of you.
Yeah.
Did he get to see you get married?
No,
he didn't get to see that.
No, he didn't get to see
Daddy,
all that. No,
listen, Daddy, wherever you are, she's happily married, has an amazing, lovely daughter. Nyamye nyonyam. We'll talk about her.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I used to tell my husband that if my dad were alive, yeah, by the time we wake up, my father will be sitting at the door waiting for us. Not that he will sleep over, he won't. He will stay there to come and stay with me during my pregnancy time, and will stay with me till my husband gets back from work before he will go and sleep.
Wow.
That was the kind of father.
Wow.
I tell you a story. My big sister, she's now Mrs. Tina Odami Adam. She shared a story with me quite recently that we both cried. We hugged and cried. He said she, at a point in her life, I think she had a miscarriage, and Dad. And I'm saying this because Father's Day is approaching. My dad was the only one at home. My dad took his shirts to clean her up. Because she had a miscarriage at home, to clean her up before he called people to come to help take her to the hospital. That was the kind of father he was.
Wow. After like going through Infantaman
yes.
and all of that, and him telling you the truth about, okay, this is the money we have, so this is what we can take you through. How did journalism come into the picture? You know, did he have an influence in it, or were you always the talker? You know, so everybody knew, okay, she's going to do something that has to do with talking, because that was my story.
That's my story too. You know, I love music. That's why I organize a worship program all the time.
Yes.
I love to sing, but I have a horrible voice for singing, and I was singing around the house every time. Then my siblings would tell me, "Oh, you didn't keep quiet, you don't have a good voice." And then I run to my dad and tell my dad, they are teasing me, they say I don't have it. And my father would tell me, don't worry, at least you can talk. He never said, don't mind them, you can sing. No. He always said, at least you can. And I was never satisfied with that. He always said, at least you can talk. At least you can talk. So everybody thought I was going to be a lawyer.
Okay.
You know, but, you know, peer pressure. I wanted to do land economy because everybody I knew around my area, those who seemed to be doing well, was the land economist. I applied to tech, I didn't get it. So journalism was like, go and try and see. And even that, I wanted to do public relations, because if you were coming from where I was coming from, and growing up, everything was to be able to take care of my dad and make my dad proud. Those were the two. Nothing else mattered. So I just wanted to do public relations and get some money. I got there, and then they told me that we think you'll be good with journalism. I didn't want. I went through three interviews. At every step, I was told, we think you'll be good in journalism. I mean, how?
Look at God. He has a very interesting way of interrupting your life and bringing what he thinks that you need.
I'm telling you.
And that's how journalism came about.
That's how journalism. And even that, going through 2 years of diploma in journalism, I still went into a PR department to do my internship. I went
You
there.
still weren't interested? Okay.
I went there, I met a guy who said, you know what, go and try Media House for 1 month. Those years, the internship was 6 months. So I said, go and try. I had done 1 month it was at Internal Revenue of the PR department under the late Professor Atta Mills. May he rest in peace. And he's called Mr. Datz. He said, Gifty, go and try Media House for 1 month. If you don't like it, come back. I don't think I even went back to say thank you to him.
Aww.
God forgive me.
Yeah.
I went there and I didn't come back. And you know why? I went to Ghanaian Times. And one of the people who supported me along the way, Mrs. Celeste Hefron Asari, she helped me, she pushed me. And one day, my story appeared on the front page of Ghanaian Times.
Okay, so you were writing at first.
I was writing. I went into print. And then the name Gifty, a story by Gifty Auntie. And he came and told my dad. My dad moved the length and breadth of Tema and showed the newspaper to everybody.
He was so proud of you.
That is his daughter.
Yeah.
So I said,
maybe there's something here.
There's something here.
Yeah.
So I started paying attention. And then the journey began. The doors opened.
Yeah.
I was doing things I didn't know I could do. But I gave my all. I gave myself to it. And I applied passion. And this is where I am today.
How did journalism turn to Jesus? Like, because we didn't think that, you know, the person that was doing anything that had to do with writing stories or, you know, on television doing, you know, anything that has to do with news and stuff would end up doing something that has to do,
you know,
with Jesus. So what's your Jesus story, I think, is what I want to find out. How did he enter into your space?
You know what the Bible said, train a child the way you should go, and when they grow, they will not depart from it. I just want to tell parents that sometimes you do your best and it seems the children are going wayward. But then if you're consistent, you pray and you don't give up on them, they find a way of coming back. I was raised in church. My father was a Presbyterian, my mother was a Methodist. But then my father would go to Presby with us, and then I'll go to Methodist. I went to girls, brigade. I was part of Sunday school. I was, you know, those in my area, Mrs. Oponwadia used to organize Sunday school classes after church, 3 p.m. Well, I was going because she would give us bread.
Toffees
and,
or bread.
And this planter with tea.
I haven't had planter in a long time.
And tea, you know. So we're all going, and it brought a lot of us together. So those things were in there. And my father always used to say, don't be afraid, God is with you. Those were his words. He kept saying it. So I knew there was God. I knew God. Of course, along the way, I lost my way. But going back and forth, and some of the things I went through, and yet God actually delivered me from. I mean, nobody had to hold my hand and drag me back. It just happened. I remember when the 3rd anniversary or 4th anniversary of the Standpoint, we had the women called to worship, and I think Reverend Istudanaba was the preacher. And then after, my big sister, same big sister, I love her so much, I hardly tell her, my sister, you know, Dami Adams, and she said, no, you know what, with what I've seen today, with the kind of people you brought together to worship God, you need to make a decision. Either you are going to turn totally to God or you forget it. Because otherwise, something drastic will happen to you. You will not. Because you can't be in two worlds.
Yes, you had to make a decision. And you did make a decision.
Did make the decision.
You did make a decision. Is that how, I mean, so when did the Standpoint start? And because we know it's 10 years, and 10 years is no joke, guys.
Next month, July, is going to be 11 years.
11 years!
Yes.
So how did it start? And do you remember your very first Standpoint show?
So
how did that go?
It was 11th July 2008. It was with Haji Alima Mahama, now Minister for Local Government. Mrs. Liz Hayfron Asari, and then a lady now at the office of the President, Flagstaff House, Hajia Hamida Nuhu, and we talked about women. Jeremy, the whole thing was that I was raised by a man, single-handedly, but my father never made me feel that there's something that are for men and some things are for women. Everybody did everything. And you always told me, put your mind to, you can do whatever you decide to do. And my father never forced me to be. I remember after Form 5, my sisters with my dad. I'm a pension baby, so my father was old. And they said I should go to a secretarial school. And I said, no, I want to go to 6th form. And they were all upset. They were just talking down at me. And my father had and came and said, no, whatever I have to do to make sure she completes 6th form, I'll do it. So if she wants to go to 6th form, she will go.
Wow.
She never put a stop to anything. She never tried to, I beg your pardon,
he never tried to
influence me to go the way he wants to. It's just to make sure, certain things in life, the ups and downs, to make sure you do not go and get pregnant, or you know where you're coming from, don't go and mess up, stuff like that. But when it comes to career, when it comes to life path, he's just supporting you.
So the very first Standpoint?
The very first Standpoint was because I was tired of being, I had been in the media for how many years? 97 to 2008, 11 years. And all sorts of things were being said about me. Some true, some not true. So I was just fed up. So I just asked, is it because I'm a woman that people find this strange? Because people were doing West things, were saying West things on TV. But then every time I was having it, so I just decided to have a program. So that the beginning was to let people know that I'm not the only woman who has a voice. There are women, because I had met women on assignments, and they also have a voice. Women are good in politics, they are in economics, they are good in, you know, engineering, stuff like that. So that was the concept, the original concept.
And that's how the feminine side came about. So you were giving people the chance to hear women's voices, literally.
But when I started, then thank God for the Holy Spirit. I mean, I understood that there are underlying factors that is preventing us from reaching where we want to reach. Because if a woman will come out, not everybody. I remember one young lady sent me a message saying, I wasn't married. I was 44 then. And she said she was 26. And everybody was laughing at her because everybody around her had gotten married. And then her message was, Auntie Gifty, don't tell me that you are 44, you're not married, so I shouldn't worry because I'm not as strong as you.
You are strong, though.
You know, she was like, and I was like, really? Not as strong as me? She thinks it's easy for me when people say things about me, and I just brace it. No, I cry. I ask myself questions. I mean, I pray. I try to, you know, do things that will please people sometimes, but I realize that no, that is not me. This is not how I'm supposed to be. And thank God for getting close to God and knowing it, for opening my eyes to some of us have to go through things for the benefit of others.
True.
One of the things my spiritual father, Reverend Istudanaba, told me is that, Gifty, the things we go through is not because of us, but so that other people may be encouraged, so that other people may be drawn closer to God. So once we give up, a lot more, and this was after, you know, that unfortunate incident, losing, you know, my sisters, that's his children. He said, because I just couldn't believe him, that he could still go ahead and preach. I said, no, my daughter, this is not it. The God we serve, he's not a wicked God, but he knows what he's doing. But whatever he takes us through, he's there for us. If we stand still, if we hold on to our faith, in the end, the glory will go to him, but then we'll also have our reward. So I do this so that other people will understand that yes, it's not easy, but you can do it.
I feel like you've earned your right and your crown to do what it is that you do. You know, these things, God, I believe that God needs to trust a person with the platform that he gives a person. And, you know, for people who say, oh, why am I going through all of these things? Or why are all these things happening to me? God trusts you enough to let you go through that because he knows the platform that he has. For these things are not just handed over to you like on a silver platter, you know. So for her to say, oh, 10 years of Standpoint, 11 years this year of Standpoint, 22 years of doing television and media and all of that stuff. It's no joke, you know, but I feel you've earned your crown. And one of the things you just mentioned, you know, the 26-year-old who was saying to you, at what age did you get married?
45.
And please, listen, ladies, listen. At 45, and that makes a mind-blowing testimony that tells that God is real. He is real. He exists, and if he could do it for her, he could do it for you.
Amen.
So quit pining over your 26-year-old self. That's not right. Tell us a little bit about that testimony.
Yes, I mean, I had always said that, you know, first of all, my father wasn't the type who was always, you know, drumming into my head, you need to marry, you need to marry. Yeah. And I always told myself that, listen, I have a task to accomplish, a purpose to fulfill. I always ask myself, if I should die today and go, Lord, I wasn't married. Lord, I didn't have a child. Lord, I was waiting for a man. I was waiting for a child. Would that be good enough? Excuse for not living my purpose, for not fulfilling destiny. So I just kept going, doing what I had to do, believing that God in his own time will make things beautiful. How my marriage, I mean, today I was talking to Jandel, Antiafi, Amoro, and we were just laughing. It was everything happened just like that, you know. Because
you weren't expecting it. I
wasn't
mean,
expecting
at
it.
45, had you given up? Like, had you?
Oh, yeah.
Were you in a space where you're like, okay, God, you know what? Just I'll let you do you. I'll just keep living my life.
My husband, that when we had to break up for almost 6 months just because he was tired of asking me to marry him.
Wow.
He was tired. I met him, I think 6 months down the line. He proposed to me in front of his family. It took 2.5 years before I finally.
What were you waiting for?
I didn't know. I had got it to a point where I felt, there's so much for me to do. I didn't want to go. I've lived for 42 years, 43, 44 on my own. I don't want to go in for anybody to, I had all these misconceptions about, relationships. And so I didn't want to go there. I was raised by a single father anyway. And then the issue of age and childbirth also came in. They're going to put pressure on me. So what if it doesn't happen? But then, thank God, he used him to reassure me. My mother-in-law reassured me, and nobody was expecting me to go in there and have a child anyway. Yes. I mean, nobody. And when I got married, there were so many publications about in her old age. Can she have a baby? Can she do this and all that?
Look at how God just shushed everybody.
Less than 2 years into my marriage.
I know.
It happened.
So you got married at 45 and you had your baby at
47. Yeah. That's the code.
Man, look at God. That's amazing. And she is her name is perfect.
Yes.
It's perfect.
Yes.
So after you got married, because I know that we don't have a lot of time, and I'm gonna have to find time to like enter in proper, but I have to, allow me to enter small, okay? After you got married, and everybody's saying, oh yeah, okay, she got married in her old age and all of that stuff. Did you believe that you could have a child at 40, like in your 40s? No,
I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't. So at a point when I told my husband that I want to try, he was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Can you handle it with all your responsibilities and this? I said, yeah, I want to try. And I said I wanted to try because I had to go for surgery, fibroid surgery. And, now there's technology. So my doctor, Dr. Padiaite, he initially said he was going to do the local, anesthesia. So, but then it was taking long. So he had to put me to sleep. But it wasn't deep sleep. So I could hear them talk around me. And when I was coming out, I heard him say, the way this woman has made me struggle, if she doesn't try to have a child, what I'll do to her. So when I came out, I asked him what that meant. He said, your womb is fine. I said, are you sure? I've tried doctors, and I'm a health freak. I do my health checks and everything. So I've been told things by some doctors. He said, no, I said, are you sure? He said, yes, you can.
Especially after a fibroid, because they would tell you, like when you take it out.
I had already done 2 surgeries already. This was like a third one, So, I mean, it was just like, he said, listen, he said to me, doctors will do our bit. It is God who has the final say.
And he did.
And I'm not saying this to denigrate any medical doctor, but ladies, if you're going to look, if you're a Christian, make sure you get a doctor who knows God and believes in God, who will tell you as it is. Because sometimes people are giving false hopes. Because of doctors will do their bit. But it is God who has the final say.
Absolutely.
And the way it happened, that's why you said, I mean, it's just God glorifying himself. It's not because of me. It's not because of something I did. It's not because of my husband. And unfortunately, she came out and she's just like the father. Nothing like me.
When you found out that you were pregnant, what was your reaction? Like, was it like, oh, this is some kind of joke? Like, no.
Yeah, it took me 3 days to really internalize it, and then really cried.
Wow.
I just cried. Wow. I just cried and cried and cried. And I went through the motions, and I always, praying and,
Was it an easy pregnancy?
According to my doctor, it was easy. Because with my age, I went through just the normal morning sickness and, but there was no time when I was hospitalized. There was no time where I had to go through any special treatment. There was no... It's just, I think, a month to my time, she kicked off for whatever reason. But we got to the hospital, and thank God for angels. The midwife says, let's monitor. I was going to be rushed to the theater. Then the midwife said, let's monitor her. I want to. So she had closed. Sayram, I just love that young lady too. She stayed with me till about 10 p.m. Till the baby settled and everything. Said no, she still has 1 month. She's not going to have a preterm baby. She will have a normal baby.
And you do have a normal baby.
And that day, you know, apparently there was going to be a surprise baby shower for me.
Wow.
I didn't know.
Wow.
And everybody was here and I didn't turn up.
Oh.
I don't know why, but God knows why.
Yeah.
God
That's
knows why.
amazing.
Yeah.
You have such a testimony
Oh.
that it makes sense that you do women called to worship.
Yeah.
Because when you have a testimony like this, you don't keep it to yourself. I mean, anyone who doesn't even know you, who randomly just comes across it on, whether it's on social media or a page or something, would say, whoa, who is this woman? You know, so Women Called to Worship, did it come from your testimonies, or you wanted other people to share their testimonies? Tell us about that and how that's been going
Women
as well.
Called to Worship started this 11 years, so 8 years ago. And I've always been surrounded by great men and women of God who have really prayed and hoped, never given up on me, despite my waywardness sometimes, you know. And I've always loved the things of God. So I just decided, we started the first anniversary, second anniversary by organizing work. And I said, no, we have to do something for God. So we just decided just to bring people together to worship, because I love worship. As I say, I love singing, but I love worship songs. And you know, another great, he's my nephew, he'll kill me when I say this, Reverend Bishop Kwapom, Eric Kwapom. He's my nephew, and I followed him to preach one time in London, and I heard him tell people that when you worship, God comes in his totality. You know,
He does.
God has many names. He comes as a comforter sometimes when you call him as a comforter. He comes as a healer. He comes as a deliverer. But when you worship, he comes in his totality. So whatever is
You
wrong with
need him to
you,
be.
whatever it is, he takes care of it. So I fell in love with worship, and I decided to do this worship program. And then gradually it evolved. Then we started inviting preachers to come. You know, there are times that we bring people, women of God, and you know, men of God, to share their testimonies. This year it's on the 6th of July.
Okay.
And our theme is, and we hope, since I've got you, maybe you can come and moderate for us to do the MC for us.
No problem.
The theme,
Since you put me on the spot.
The theme is Here I Am to Worship. This is why we are not going to ask God for anything. Every year we have a theme. Every year we have it. But this year we say, Here I am to worship.
Wow.
And every time it's like maximum 3 days after the event, God drops a topic. And I hold on, I tell people, and we don't change it, we keep it. Said, here I am to just worship, give him thanks. We've asked so many, we keep asking. And sometimes he's giving us, but we are not seeing the angles that he's giving us. You know, almost 5 weeks ago, I fell and, you know, broke my ankle bone.
Sorry.
I've been in this cast for close to 6 weeks. It hasn't been easy. You know, I would just cry. But for 3 weeks, I was stuck upstairs. I couldn't come downstairs. It was that painful. But those 3 weeks, staying indoors.
It was you and Jesus. I know. I know what that's like. That's that secret place kind of worship that you can't get anywhere else. He needs to lock you sometimes and be alone with you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to be having you join us on Praise TV.
It's an
I mean,
honor.
now that you're joining the family, that means we get to come for your events. So yes, I will be there. Absolutely.
And this year, Jackie Parry is ministering.
Woo! Go Jackie! Go Jack! She's an amazing minister. She's a sister to me. Love her to bits. And it's exciting to know that she's going to be on that as well. So how do you feel? It's about to start this June.
Yes.
We're coming on to, I mean, you've been doing this for 11 years this year, Standpoint, and now it gets to come on to an actual, no hard feelings to all the other stations, because like, you know, you're awesome stations, but she finally gets to land on a Christian station, and it's like, it's straight up to the people who well, everybody needs to see, you know, that, because it's very vast.
Yes.
There's so many different things that they talk about on the Standpoint. You would get Jesus stuff, you would get women stuff, you would get men stuff, you would get issues. So it's very broad, and it could bless anybody at any point. I'm just excited that it gets to come to the faith-based world.
Yes.
How do you feel about it?
I'm so excited. You know, God works in mysterious ways. It's like it's come full circle.
Yes.
You know, when about 3 years ago, when I started ending my programs by, you know, I have these clips I call a bit of me, by saying I'm a woman with super crazy faith in God. You know, it said they overcame by the words of their
testimony, by the blood of the Lamb, and by the words of their testimony.
You know, so what we confess is going around, and it's ending where it has to be. It has to be. It's like it's coming home. And it's really a comfortable place for me to know that we are going to be on Praise TV.
Okay.
Not just because of the viewers, but because we know that lives are going to be touched.
Absolutely.
Christians and non-Christians watching would know that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what you're going through. You are not alone. There is a God. There's a God factor. I proudly say that I'm a feminist, but my feminism is based on the women in the Bible, the strong women God used. I got to fall in love with Deborah quite recently. You know, and every year it's like God gives me something, but it's someone new that I have to read about. You know, and then Abigail, you know, the story of Abigail, amazing, where she had to stand up, rise up to save not just her husband but her household, and God took care of the rest.
That's
you know,
amazing.
Being married to achieve as a Christian, it's not easy. You do physical and spiritual battle. It is not easy at all, because subtly you try to influence. Now even the palace, where it used to be a no-go area for certain people, we do have church services there.
Wow. God bless you.
We do have church, and I thank God for how He is reaching out to my husband. And I know that, you know, it is not my job. I just have to live the Christian life for Him to see.
Yes.
But then God will do. He said the heart of the king is in His own hands.
And he will turn it as He wills.
So I leave it all up to Him.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you join the family. We can't wait. This June, the Standpoint begins on Praise TV. And Auntie Gifty, you're officially welcome to the family.
Thank you. And I think the first one is airing on the 1st of June, 4:30 p.m. I'll be seated behind my seat.
Watching it live. Okay. God bless you, Ma.
God bless you too.
Well, I just had an amazing time with Oheneyere Gifty Auntie, and I mean, I'm so humbled to be the one to get to hang with her. I did mention that the last time I was sitting here, she was interviewing me, so it's such a blessing to be able to do it. I'm hoping that you enjoyed me, you know, pulling you into her life, into her space, and we're excited to have her join the Praise TV family. So don't forget, this June, Standpoint begins on Praise TV. God bless you.